Well, my name's Stephen Poirier. I'm from Massachusetts area. I grew up most of my life in South Carolina and North Carolina. I've been interested in art and writing most of my life. Well, I think, and I've learned, I've been working through on my recovery for most of my life. The diagnosis and misdiagnosis over the years. And I find that what I've come to learn through many people is that we all have inside us this person. A lot of people refer to it as your inner self. That is who you're meant to be. Not your job title, not the thing you went to college for, but the inside here. And it takes a long time to find it, and sometimes we find it and it's stepped on, and which was, in my case, part of the reason I let it go. Trying to get back to that inner self, that's kind of, I guess, how I would define it. It is, I am primarily a writer, but I do like to do art and view art. With my particular work I did when I was in California a few years ago. It just was sort of a representation of how the trip went, and I like the idea of recycling things into new things. Like, for example, the work is made of, I took a lot of photographs when I was there, and it's made up of the remnants of duplicates and mistakes and into this work of art. So I think that helps you get at the soul of things, of what you're feeling and what you're experiencing. I was at a low point in my life where I was basically about at the point of financial ruin, but I had enough money to take one final trip, and I took it to California for my birthday, and I stayed through Pride, which is Gay Pride. It's a celebration that goes for weeks, if not a month. And had a very good time. I also closed out quite a few bank accounts in the process, but I enjoyed myself. And then when I got back, I was resided to staying with my parents for a little while, and then I had all these photos, so I decided this would give me something to do, and just the project just developed. You know, I took sections of streets and made streets, and I took sections of the parades and made parades, cut out buildings and placed them around, pictures from the hotels, made the airplane out of the wings and parts of the airplane that I photographed out the window, same thing with the clouds. Just kind of fun to play around with reality. The piece is called San Francisco Daydream. Could be called a few other things, I suppose, but it kind of, it represents a memory to me, or sort of a part of a memory. It's kind of like when I write, like doing art, I think it's the same way, or music. It's kind of when you're coming up with it, you come up with a start, and then the work makes itself. It just kind of, it gets your brain kind of tweaked, and then once you start, it just goes on its own way. At least that's the way my mind works. Well, it helps and it hurts. I think it helps it helps you get out of some of what's in here and bring it out in the world in a very natural, sort of fulfilling way, not only for you but for the reader or the person that views the art or buys that piece of furniture that they've fallen in love with, or etc. But it you know, it helps you work out demons. The problem is while you're doing that, if you get caught up in too many projects, you get overwhelmed. It's a big issue for me. Otherwise, I would produce much more. But I'm working on those. It is useful to direct your intention on one specific thing. However, you also have to remember that there's other things out there and figure out how to get back to those as well, which I'm still working on that. There, like they say, there is no cure, there's only recovery. Well, I guess I could say one other thing. I think any form of art, writing, it's a way of expressing your demons and your soul, your joy and your pain, you know, what you find comfortable, you know, what excites you. It's just a vast spectrum of emotion and your soul that you can, you know, if you feel comfortable, well, for one thing, you can get it out of you and put it down. And if you get to the point that you're comfortable, you can share that with somebody else. Maybe it'll have some meaning that will bring the same out in them.